Hello everyone. In this opportunity, I will present my presentation about my internship project entitled API Catalog and Standardization. My name is Rifki Haikal Hedensha with name 11S21002. Today, we'll be discussing about three main points. The first one is main project. I'll introduce my main tasks during this internship, which is about API Catalog and Standardization. And the second is journey. I'll share what I've learned throughout the program. And the third is demo. And then let's start by diving into the main project. First, let's define what is API catalog and why it's important. API or application programming interfaces are like bridges that allows different software systems to communicate and work together. In a company like Fifth Group, which uses so many applications, there are so many APIs. Without a proper catalog or documentation of these APIs, it's easy for developers to lose track of what APIs are available, or accidentally create multiple APIs that perform the same function. This is what we call API redundancy. It creates confusion, it wastes resources, and complicates development. To solve this, my project is focused on converting to the collection to make standardizing the documentation of all APIs in Flip Group. This means creating API converter for centralized API catalog with using one platform. It's called Axway. What is Axway? Axway is a platform manage all these APIs. Flip Group uses a platform called Axway API Gateway. These tools helping organize, secure, and monitor all the APIs in one place. However, Axway can only works with API documentation written in format called Swagger. And then, what is Swagger? This is the alternative solution. The tools or the platform have a similar function here. The first one is Swagger. It's a platform used for API documentation with an industry standard format that is supported by other platforms such as Xway. It makes the APIs easier to understand for both developers and systems that need to manage them, like Xway. However, not all APIs in Flipgroup are documented in Swagger. Some are documented in Postman. And what is Postman? Postman is a platform whose main focus is manual API testing, with the advantage is an intuitive and simple experience with easy exporting and sharing for collaboration. And then Stoplight is a platform used for testing, documenting, and monitoring APIs. But the downside is that it has to be done manually to document APIs using Stoplight, which take a lot of time, right? And the last one is our application. It's called API Converter. It's an application that we create to be solution to the problems that occur in project development, which use converting to the Postman collection format into Swagger documentation. Here comes the challenge. Xway only accepts Swagger, but Flipgroup has APIs in Postman format. This is where our project comes in. And the next slide is tech stack. Let's briefly talk about technology we're using to build this system. We're using Java Spring Boot, which allows the system to handle large amounts of data and function efficiently for handling backend. And then the user interface is building using Angular, a framework that makes it easy to create interactive and dynamic web pages for front end. And we're using Tailwind for make an interactive and dynamic design web interface. And then this is the flowchart, and I will describe this flowchart here. This flow describes the process of converting a file through a user interface. The user begins by selecting the file upload icon, and which opens the file explorer for choosing a file. The system then uploads the selected file and checks the file are correct or not. If the file format is valid, the system shows a progress printer while converting the file. Once the conversion is complete, the system makes the converted file available for download. If the file was incorrect, the system displays an error message halting the process. This is the scope for our system. The system can be accessed just for IT core development department because IT core having handling so many application and using so many API there. Our system is building by the local host here, but the system have been deployed to the internal server of VIP group. This is schema request and schema response. We can see the comparison for the structure here. Look at the header and look at the body, and it's look so different, right? And then we're going to the journey. During this internship, I've learned a great deal about managing and documenting APIs using platforms like Axway and Swagger in first 2 weeks. These skills have been essential in helping me to understand how companies like Flipgroup manage their API in a fast-paced digital environment. And then in the week 3 until week 6, I've learned Java Spring Boot for implementing logic and handling backend. And then using Angular, I learned to building a single page application by building component by component with using interface and handling front end here. And then for design, I'm using Tailwind, and I learned week 7 until week 9. I implementing the project with building a mini project at week 5 until week 11. And then we're going to the demo here. But we need to read this letter first. This letter serves to inform that the result of our internship, that the conclusion is we hereby declare that the students' work, including report, presentation, or any other forms produced during the internship, cannot be submitted or shared with the university or any third party without written approval by PT Federal International Finance. In this presentation, I can't open Axway API Gateway because in Axway API Gateway is having so many internal information at that. And I can't open the real system because need to use internal network from Flip group. That is the boundaries of this demo. Okay, and the next, for this demo, I've created a local clone of the system that has been deployed on the Flip group internal server. Unfortunately, due to privacy and concern and network restrictions, I'm unable to display the actual system. And to save time, I've already launched the application before. Look at this. This is the backend. I've been running the backend here. And then we're going to the system. This is the interface of the system. We can see the logo here. And then the form here. User click the icon for open the file explorer here, and we can see the folder here. This is the Postman collection that we want to converting to the Swagger. And then click the button convert here. If the format is valid, the progress sprinter will run it here. Now the format is valid and the system show us the model confirmation here. We click download and the file is download automatic. Then we want to compare the structure here. Look at here. This is the Swagger result of the converting. Uh, the same name and adding the Swagger here. Maybe that's all that I can deliver. Thank you for your attention, and I say goodbye.